Vandeham Sri Guru. In the Bhagavad-gītā, it is clearly explained that there are three kinds of activities according to the different modes of nature. The activities of goodness, the activities of passion, the activities of ignorance. Similarly, there are three kinds of eatables also. Eatables in goodness, eatables on passion, eatables on ignorance. They are all clearly described. And if we properly utilize the instructions of the Bhagavad-gītā, then our whole life will become purified and ultimately we shall be able to reach the destination. Jadgatyana nivartanti tadhama paramam mama. That information is given in the Bhagavad-gītā. That beyond this spiritual material sky, there is another spiritual sky that is called Sanātana sky. In this sky, this covered sky, we find everything temporary. It is manifested. It stays for some time, gives us some byproduct, and then it becomes dwindling and then vanishes. That is the law of this material world. You take this body, you take a fruit or anything, what is created here, it has got its annihilation at the end. So, beyond this temporary world, there is another world for which the information is there. The parastasmatu bhava anya. There is another nature which is eternal, sanātana, which is eternal. And the jiva, jiva is also described as sanātana. Mavi mansa jiva bhuta jiva loka sanātana. Sanātana. Sanātana means eternal. And the Lord is also described as Sanātana in the 11th chapter. So, because we have got intimate relation with the Lord, and we are all qualitatively one, the Sanātana-dharma and the Sanātana Supreme Personality and the Sanātana living entities, they are on the same qualitatively plane. Therefore, the whole target of Bhagavad-gītā is to revive our Sanātana occupation. Sanātana, that is called Sanātana-dharma, or eternal occupation of the living entity. We are now temporarily engaged in different activities, and all these activities being purified. When we give up all these temporary activities, sarva dharman parityajya, and when we take up the activity as deserved by the Supreme Lord, that is called our pure life. Therefore, Sanātana-dharma, as mentioned above, that the Supreme Lord is Sanātana, and the transcendental abode, which is beyond the spiritual sky, that is also Sanātana. And the living entities, they are also Sanātana. So association of the Sanātana Supreme Lord, Sanātana living entities in the Sanātana eternal abode is the ultimate aim of human form of life. The Lord is so kind upon the living entities because the living entities have claimed to be all sons of the Supreme Lord. This Lord declares, Sarvajonishu Kaunteya Sambhavanti Murtayoja. Every type of living entity, there are different types of living entities according to their different karma. But the Lord claims that He is the Father of all living entities. And therefore the Lord descends to reclaim all these forgotten, conditioned souls back to the Sanātana-dharma, the Sanātana sky, so that the Sanātana living entity may again reinstalled in a Sanātana position, in eternal association of the Lord. He comes Himself by different incarnations. He sends His confidential servitor as sons or associates or acharyas to reclaim the conditioned souls, and therefore Sanātana-dharma does not mean any sectarian process of religion. It is the eternal function of the eternal living entities in relationship with the eternal Supreme Lord. Now, so far Sanātana-dharma is concerned, it means the eternal occupation. Sripad Ramanujacharya has explained the word Sanātana as the thing which has neither any beginning nor any end. And when we speak of Sanātana-dharma, we must take it for granted on the authority of Sripad Ramanujacharya that it has no beginning nor any end. The word religion is a little different from Sanātana-dharma. Religion conveys the idea of faith. Faith may change. One may have faith in a particular process, and he may change the faith afterwards and adopt another faith. But Sanātana-dharma means which cannot be changed. It cannot be changed. Just like the water and liquidity. Liquidity cannot be changed from water. Heat and fire. Heat cannot be changed from fire. Similarly, the eternal function of the eternal living entity, which is known as Sanātana-dharma, cannot be changed. It is not possible to change. We have to find out what is that eternal function of the eternal living entity. When we speak of Sanātana-dharma, therefore, we must take it for granted on the authority of Sripad Ramanujacharya that it has no beginning nor any end. The thing which has no end, no beginning, must not be any sectarian thing or limited by any boundary. When you hold on the conference on the Sanātana-dharma, people belonging to some of the non-eternal religious faith may wrongly consider it that we are dealing in some sectarian thing, but if we go deep into the matter and take everything in the light of modern science, it will be possible for us to see Sanātana-dharma as the business of all the people of the world, nay, all the living entities of the universe. Non-Sanatan religious faith may have some beginning in the annals of the human society, but there cannot be any history of the Sanātana-dharma because it contains to remain with the history of the living entities. So far, living entities are concerned, we find it from the authority of the Shastras that the living entities have also no birth or death. In the Bhagavad-gītā, it is clearly stated that the living entity is never born, nor does it ever die. He is eternal, indestructible, and continues to live after the destruction of his temporary material body. With reference to the above concept of Sanātana-dharma, we may try to understand the concept of religion. From the Sanskrit root meaning of the word dharma, it means that which is constantly with the particular object. As we have already mentioned, when you speak of fire, it is concluded at the same time that there is heat and light along with the fire. Without heat and without light, there is no meaning of the word fire. Similarly, we must find out the essential part of a living being which is always companion with him. That part of constant companion of the living being is his eternal quality, and the eternal part of the living being's quality is his eternal religion. When Sanatana Goswami asked Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu about the Sarup, we have already discussed about the Sarup of every living being. Sarup, or real constitution of the living being, the Lord replied that the constitutional position of the living being is to render service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But if we analyze this part of the statement of Lord Chaitanya, we can very well see that every living being is constantly engaged in the business of rendering service to another living being. A living being serves another living being in different capacities, and by doing so, the living entity enjoys life. A lower animal serves a human being, a servant serves his master, A serves B master, B serves C master, and C serves D master, and so on. Under these circumstances, we can see that a friend serves another friend, and the mother serves the son, or the wife serves the husband, or husband serves the wife. if we go on searching in that spirit, it will be seen that there is no exception in the society of the living being where we do not find the activity of service. The politician present his manifesto before the public and convince his voters about his service capacity. The voter also gives the politician his valuable vote on expectation that the politician will give service to the society. The shopkeeper serves the customer, and the artisan serves the capitalist. The capitalist serves his family, and the family serves the headman in terms of the eternal capacity of eternal being. In this way, we can see no living being is exempted from the practice of rendering service to other living beings, and therefore we can conclude that service is a thing which is the constant companion of the living being, and therefore it may be safely concluded that rendering of service by a living being is the eternal religion of the living being. When a man professes to belong to a particular type of faith with reference to the particular time and circumstances of birth, and thus one claims to be a Hindu, a Muslim, a Christian, Buddhist, or any other sect and a subsect, such designations are non-Sanātana-dharma. A Hindu may change his faith to become a Muslim, or a Muslim may change his faith to become a Hindu or a Christian, etc. But in all circumstances, such change of religious faith does not allow a person to change his eternal engagement of rendering service to others. A Hindu or a Muslim or a Christian, in all circumstances, he is servant of somebody, and thus to profess a particular type of faith is not to be considered as Sanātana-dharma, but the constant companion of the living being, that is rendering of service, is the Sanātana-dharma. So, factually, we are related in the service relationship with the Supreme Lord. The Supreme Lord is the supreme enjoyer, and we, living entities, are eternally His supreme servitors. We are created for His enjoyment, and if we participate in that eternal enjoyment with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, that makes us happy, not otherwise. Independently, as I have already explained, that independently any part of the body, the hand, the feet, the fingers, or any part of the body, independently cannot be happy without cooperation with the stomach. Similarly, the living entity can never be happy without rendering his transcendental loving service to the Supreme Lord. Now, in the Bhagavad-gītā, the worship of different demigods is not approved. It's not approved because It is said in the Bhagavad-gītā, 7th chapter, 20th verse. The Lord says, Kāmaistastha hitogyanah prapaddanti annadevataha. Kāmaistastha hitogyanah. Those who are drifted by lust, only they worship the demigods other than the Supreme Lord, Krishna. We also may remember that when you speak of Krishna, it is not a sectarian name. The Krishna name means the highest pleasure. It is confirmed that the Supreme Lord is the reservoir, is the storehouse of all pleasure. We are all hankering after pleasure. Anandamaya abhyasat. The living entities or the Lord, because we are full of consciousness, therefore our consciousness is after happiness. Not a happiness. The Lord is also perpetually happy. And if we associate with the Lord, cooperate with Him, take part in His association, then also we become happy. The Lord descends on this mortal world to show His pastime in Vrindavan, full of happiness. When Lord Sri Krishna was in Vrindavan, his activities with his cowherd boys friend, with his dancers, with his damsel friends, and with the inhabitants of Vrindavan, and his occupation of cow herding in his childhood, and all these pastimes of Lord Krishna was full of happiness. The whole of Vrindavan, the whole population of Vrindavan was after him. They did not know except Krishna. Even Lord Krishna restricted his father Nanda Maharaj in worshipping the demigod Indra, because he wanted to establish that people need not worship any other demigod except the Supreme Personality of God. Because the ultimate aim of life is to return to the abode of the Supreme Lord. The abode of Lord Krishna is described in the Bhagavad-gītā, 15th chapter, 6th verse. Natad bhasayati surya na sasanka na pavakaha jadgatya na nivattanti tadhyamam paramam mama. Now, the description of that eternal sky, when we speak of sky, because we have material conception of the sky, therefore we think of the sky with sun, moon, stars like that. But the Lord says that the eternal sky, there is no need of sun, na tad bhasayate surya, na sasanka, na pavaka. Neither in that eternal sky there is need of moon, no pavaka, means neither there is necessity of electricity or fire for illuminating, because the spiritual sky is already illuminated by the Brahma Jyoti. Brahma Jyoti, Yasa Prabha, the rays of the Supreme Abode. Now in these days, when people are trying to reach other planets, it is not very difficult to understand the abode of the Supreme Lord. The abode of the Supreme Lord is in the spiritual sky, and it is named as Golaka. In the Brahma Samhita, it is very nicely described. Golaka eva nivasati akhila atma bhuta. The Lord, although resides eternally in his abode, Golaka, still he is akhila atma bhuta. He can be approached from here also. And the Lord therefore comes to manifest his real form, Satchidananda Vigraha, so that we may not have to imagine. There is no question of imagination. The Lord's presence, by his causeless mercy, he presents himself in his Shyama Sundara. Unfortunately, people with less intelligence deride at him. Avajananti mang mudha. Because the Lord comes as one of us, and just like plays with us as a human being. Therefore we need not consider that Lord is one of us. It is his omnipotency that he presents himself with his real form before us and displays his pastimes, just the prototype of his abode. So that abode of Lord, there are innumerable planets also in that Brahma Jyoti. Just like we have got innumerable planets floating on the sun rays. Similarly, in the Brahma Jyoti, which is emanating from the abode of the Supreme Lord, Krishna Loka, Goloka, Ananda Chinmaya Rasa Pratibhavitavi. All those planets are spiritual planets. They are Ananda Chinmaya. They are not material planets. So, the Lord says, na tad bhasayati sujja, na sasanka na pavaka, jadgatya na nivartante, tadhama paramangama. Now, anyone who can approach that spiritual sky will not be required to come back again in this material sky. So long we are in the material sky, what to speak of approaching the moon planet? The moon planet, of course, is the nearest planet. But even we approach the highest planet, which is called Brahmaloka. There also we have these same miseries of material life. I mean to say, the miseries of birth, death, old age, and diseases. No planets in the material universe is free from the four principles of material existence. The Lord therefore says in the Bhagavad-gītā, Abrahma bhuvanan lokan punaravartinajyo. The living entities are traveling from one planet to another. It is not that we can simply go to other planets by the mechanical arrangement of the Sputnik.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare